Welcome everybody to Friday Morning Fuel. I'm Coach Matt. It is so good to be back here on this glorious stage. Over the last month, we've been talking a lot about grocery hauls. So I'm going to kind of show you what I normally get in a week. And at the same time, I'm here to educate you. So we are going to talk a little bit about some tips and tricks that we can improve, or hopefully you can improve your grocery shopping experience. Some of us not big fans of grocery shopping. I'm going to try to change that. I'm going to try to make it easier, more accessible, and hopefully overall better. So we'll kind of jump into it. So the first tip I have for you is to go to the same grocery store. I know this is maybe not always an option, but if we are attending the same grocery store every week, however often you shop, then we get accustomed to how that store is laid out. We get an idea of where everything is in that grocery store, and ultimately it just makes our time more efficient. So we don't have to run aisle to aisle to figure out kind of, where's this thing that I need? You know exactly where it is. You've been there 100 times over the last year, so getting accustomed to where everything's laid out, and then we are able to be more efficient. So I'm going to kind of go with that option, or that demonstration here today. I'm a big Aldi guy myself, and so every week, same path around the grocery store. So I'm gonna lay out our South Point Aldi for you. First thing when we walk in the door, when you pay your 25 cents for your cart, this is one of the few snacks I have, to be honest with you. Some dried fruit right there at the front of the door. Dried fruit, awesome, on the go. All right, then we get into kind of pass all the lines. You know, sometimes we'll grab one of those. Got a couple back there. And all the kind of chips, cookies, blah, blah, blah. We go for some bread. I'll be honest with you up front, I did not go grocery shopping last night. In preparation for this is more or less what we have left over from earlier this week when we went. Very little bread left. Do I buy bread every single week? No. As a millennial, this is almost exclusively for avocado toast. So gotta get it every once a week, or they're gonna take my Generation Y card away. So some toast. It is gluten-free toast. My wife is gluten intolerant, so we do that. Of course, to go with that, we've got our lovely avocado. This one is very much ready to go. So right after the breads and everything, we hit into the produce. This is pretty much half of what this table is worth is produce. Kind of take you through. Again, do I buy everything every week? No, not necessarily, but it's more or less the same thing every week. I'll get to that tip in a second. Everything is just kind of in pieces here. This is not exactly how we buy it, but whatever. Lemons and limes, they're good for everything. Not going to hound on every single thing, but lemons and limes we get a lot of. Fruit, usually some go-to apples. Very much a Honeycrisp apple guy myself. So if you're curious about exploring some fruit, some different apples, Honeycrisp, big pizzazz, jazz apple, cosmic apples, mix it up a little bit. Oranges, I'm a big Car oranges guy myself here. Navel oranges, great for orange juice. That's about it. If you want to actually eat an orange, Car oranges. They also make some great juice. We have a juicer. We like to juice on the weekends. Any leftover oranges that we have, apples that are about to go bad, just toss it in the juicer, mix it all up. It's very, very good. Usually grab mango, pineapple, something a little tropical to mix in there. Berries, very few left. Raspberries, blueberries. Eat oatmeal most mornings. Blueberries, a great way to mix in. When they're on sale in season, we got a big bowl of strawberries here. Very recently, we found Aldi started carrying pine berries, which just look like underripe strawberries, personally. But I found out that they are like a pineapple strawberry hybrid fruit, and they taste like pineapples and strawberries. Definitely recommend it. Moving past that, we got our greens, spinach. Toss that in pretty much everything. Cabbage and carrots, kind of like a coleslaw base. Grab that most of the time. Sometimes I'll grab the whole head of cabbage, just depending how much I feel like chopping it up that week, I guess. Cauliflower and or broccoli. Again, good base, very versatile. Bake it in the oven, add some other dishes. You know how to cook. If you don't, we've got a channel for that, Friday Morning Fuel. Check them out. Bag of carrots, usually use whole carrots. Again, just give you the option. I'm a big Whole Foods guy myself, not in terms of the grocery store. I do like Whole Foods, but buying the whole product, and then we have the versatility to kind of chop that, cut that, slice it into whatever we need it for. So sometimes you get a whole cabbage, whole carrots, and then we make our own bag. But sometimes you also want the efficiency being here. So, as we're sitting around, usually you grab a couple kombuchas. We drink them, don't have any more of those. But some good gut health. We've talked about gut health, inflammation on this early last year, I believe, March, April sometime. Go back and look at it. Grab some kombucha, and then we're hanging around to the kind of vegetables aisle. Some of that was vegetables, yeah. Sweet potatoes. Great base for a lot of, if you do like meatless Mondays, good base for that. Also just good side for like chicken or beef or whatever. You know, sweet potato fries, air fryers, all the rage, go. We've got some onions, usually go yellow onions, just because again, the versatility of them, but definitely have some red onions. We just bought some white onions for some Taco Tuesday. All that good stuff. We've got some zucchini over here. I'll admit, these are from Trader Joe's. We ran out, so we go get some. And some bell peppers. Again, love the versatility of bell peppers. Usually buy a 3-pack of the Scarlet Green and a 3-pack of colored. So we have got the orange, yellow, and the red. I like these just because they make my dish look more fun. They add some color to it. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of green or it's a bunch of like white. If you got like chicken and rice, you know, throw a little red pepper in there, spice it up a little bit. So I'm going to pause right here and kind of give you my second tip of the day is to buy the same thing every trip. All right, that means saying like, oh wow, that's super boring. But I want to give you the kind of If I give you the instruction that I'd like you to draw a picture, more than likely, unless you just really like to draw, you're probably going to sit there and say, what should I draw? What do I draw? And then you're like not really sure what to do. But if I told you to draw a picture of nature, that gives you a better direction of where to go, right? So if my point here is that if you have the same idea of what you're buying every week, right, then we kind of limit that decision of fatigue of kind of run around the grocery store and be like, okay, like what do I get, right? You may argue, oh well, I'll make a list. That's coming up later. But buying the same thing every week kind of gives you some parameters to work inside, and then we're allowed to use that creativity to put into our meals. How else can we mix these ingredients together to make different meals? I make different food every week, all the same ingredients. And this is, again, what I buy pretty much every single week. It's a good base to go with. Again, we don't have to think about going food, what kind of food to get. We can kind of just put this together. My wife would like to know that, or like you to know that she also cooks, not just me. She does a lot of the food creation here. But a lot of the same food every single week. We should put it together in different ways. Again, there's a previous Friday Morning Fuel episode where I put 5 different dishes using the same handful of ingredients. Recommend you go check that out as well. All right, let's carry on with our tour here. We've gone through our produce, we've got our fruits, our vegetables. We're going to go to kind of our staples. Again, the way South Point and Aldi is laid out, it's kind of next in line. So usually we'll stop at the end cap, we'll grab some coconut yogurt. If you are a big fan of this channel, been watching for a while, you know that we make our own coconut milk here. I said coconut yogurt, this is coconut milk. We also buy coconut yogurt, but unfortunately we have to go to Harris Teeter for that. Coconut milk, we make our own coconut milk. This is concentrate. Just put it in a blender with some water, vanilla, salt, and then you got coconut milk. We usually grab a couple of those, go through those a couple times a week. And then we are other staples, canned goods, beans, can't go wrong with it. Black beans, garbanzo beans, chickpeas, wherever you're from, whatever you like. I think garbanzo is just a little more fun to say. Grab a couple of cans of those each week. Great for meal prep, canned stuff. It'll last for a while, so toss it in a dish. Good way to add some protein. Again, if you're a meatless Monday kind of person, vegan, vegetarian, anything like that, add some good protein to your meal without the meat. Pasta. Usually grab a bag of pasta. Again, gluten-free pasta for this household. But my recommendation, I think I generally recommend gluten-free if you have the ability, but if you just like your wheat pasta, highly encourage you to get at least whole wheat, which leads me to my next tip. Tips and tricks of the grocery store is to buy the best quality food that you can afford. All right? We are a machine, right? Our bodies are a machine. They are highly functioning, lots and lots of moving parts. We want to give that the best fuel you possibly can, all right? Is this to say that we need to eat organic, grass-fed, range-free, everything all the time? No, of course not. I'll be honest. We do not buy the organic blueberries, and I know that is like on the dirty dozen, but they're like twice the price. But we buy what we can when we can. Our grocery bill is probably a little bit higher than the rest of the teams, just because of the quality of food that is very important to us is the food that we buy. So recommend to you buy the best quality food, fuel that machine with the best fuel that you can. You're not gonna put unleaded 87 in your Lamborghini, right? At least I hope not. And you're gonna put the good stuff in there, make it run well. So that is us. You are a Lamborghini. I'm a Lamborghini. We're all Lamborghinis, unless you are a Ford guy. Then whatever. Anyway, so moving forward, we've got all that best quality food that you can buy. Fuel the machine. From our staples, we've got some snacks. We've got some cassava chips. That's what we are snacking on this week. Usually when we go to the grocery store, it is kind of mid-afternoon, either like a little bit before lunch or after lunch. You get ready for a snack, so we'll grab some. Usually plantain chips are our go-to, but we saw some cassava chips this time. Sometimes you just need some salt, something crunchy, all good. Other staples, olive oil. We just ran out to get some spray. Sometimes spray is a little bit easier. You may have your opinions on that or not, but spray. Excuse me. Do we need to use olive oil, avocado spray? Probably not. But again, why not? If it's in the budget, we'll get the best quality that we can afford. Let's see. I want to move down a very special aisle, the Aldi Find aisle. So we talked a little bit about pasta before. I also want to add in that there are some really good options these days. Again, we did a previous talk about this before, but checking the different kinds of pasta that we have available nowadays. So rather than just, this is, again, the gluten-free, this is brown rice and quinoa, which is great, some extra protein in there as well. But if we can find a kind of a bean source, they make flour out of everything these days. But we've got chickpea flour pasta, we've got lentil pasta. This is actually lasagna sheets. So whatever kind of pasta you like, good chance there's a higher protein option. Does everything need to be high protein? No. But for some of us, we have a hard time getting enough protein in our meals. So having a little shortcut, if you're just kind of a pasta and sauce person, without any kind of additional protein in it, this would be a good way to add some protein in it. Very simple. You're prepping the same way that you normally do. I know a lot of us are kind of very particular about the taste. I don't have an issue with the taste of either of these myself. It all cooks the same. The texture is pretty much the same. You're just gonna throw some pasta sauce on it anyway. It tastes the same. So I would check it out. I think Paul last week talked about Bonza chickpea pasta, which we get a lot. We love Bonza mac and cheese. We do that a lot. So check it out. It's worth a test. Even if you don't like it, at least you gave it a shot. I'll respect you for it. We're going to carry on from there, from our Aldi finds. There's always something in there. Oh, this is one of the staples I forgot. Oats. Talk about oatmeals every morning. Get oats. I don't have a big enough table for everything, so it's all kind of spread out. From Aldi finds, we've got cheddar cheese. We'll almost always have cheese in the fridge. Just elevates some dishes, you know. Just toss it on top of eggs, on top of your pasta, on top of anything. It's fine. We buy extra sharp cheddar cheese. Again, my wife has a little bit of lactose intolerance, and we have found that the sharper the cheddar, the lower the lactose. So if you typically have a little bit of an issue with dairy, I recommend. Aldi doesn't carry it, but I know there's like an extra sharp that we have found at Harris Teeter. And there's also a variety of different cheeses with, you know, in the posh like cheese box at the bigger grocery stores. There's a bunch of different cheeses that actually just don't have lactose in it. So if you're missing out on some cheese, or if you're like Young's big lactate person, explore your cheeses a little bit and see if there's something that works for you. All right, it may or may not, but it's worth trying. All right, so I'm gonna circle around to kind of the bulk of the cost is going to be our meats, at least on our trips. Chicken. This is like a big value pack of chicken. Which, another tip: buying in bulk, freezing. So Aldi's has the best grass-fed ground beef price per pound that we have found. Costco is right up there, but I believe they're all in the in like burger patties. But as far as pure ground beef, Aldi's has the grass fed. Occasionally, if you're really lucky, I don't know if I've said this before, but Aldi's has the family packs, which this is actually part of the family pack. It's like a 3-thing of beef, and it is like a full like $1 less per pound. So whenever they have that, you better believe we stock up. I'm sure there's like 6 beefs in our freezer right now. Which, to finish this pro tip, buy in bulk when you're able. I know the financials aren't always flexible enough to allow for this, but if for example, if Aldi's has the family pack in the beginning of the month, we'll just go ahead and buy the beef for the rest of the month, put it in the freezer, and then next few weeks grocery bill's a little bit lower. So if you budget by the month, it kind of evens out. I know that option isn't for everyone, but it's a good idea to kind of save price per pound overall, again, if you're looking at the month. So beef and chicken, always do salmon Sunday in this household. And so I think we talked about this before, but usually grocery shop on Sundays, we'll grab a salmon for the evening, and that'll be kind of our meal. Which brings me back around to our previous points about decision fatigue. So we talked about kind of buying the same thing every week, is our meals as well. If you have your meals kind of planned out beforehand, at least a general idea of them can limit decision fatigue. Again, kind of point you in the direction of like, okay, I know we do salmon on Sundays. I know we do, turkey on Tuesdays or whatever it is. That kind of puts you in a direction of what to cook or what recipes to find. You have some creativity within that meal, but you have a starting point. So highly recommend doing so. Lastly, in the kind of meats section, we've got some frozen shrimp. This is great to just kind of toss in the freezer. This we buy the like pre-cooked, or it's already cooked, I guess, but just because it's easier. Sometimes we make some poke bowls on Sunday. You just thaw it out while you kind of chop everything up, and then you've got a nice little poke bowl. So I love it. Always having some shrimp on hand just for those meals where you kind of run out of a lot of things. We know it's in there. Eggs. There's no eggs in here, but we just ate them for breakfast. Again, buy the best quality of eggs that you can. I'm not going to harp on this too much. This is just what we buy. But I know everybody ain't got egg money these days, but you know, you do your best. Again, majority of the budget is right here in those like 4 things. So yeah. Frozen foods. Well, we're running out of the shrimp kind of was there. We got a couple minutes left. Frozen fruit, smoothies. This is what started this whole Friday Morning Fuel channel was smoothies. So of course we got to buy our frozen fruits, strawberries, blueberries, mixed berries, tropical, whatever. Have fun with it. Rice cauliflower. Again, we have rice and everything like staple. We don't buy that every week. But sometimes you don't want to wait for rice to cook, and so maybe just toss some rice cauliflower in the pan. And maybe you don't need a high carb day. Maybe you know it's an off day from training, and you need just something to go with your meal. And so some cauliflower, good option. I know when I first started eating rice cauliflower, I was like, this is not good. But then you do it enough, and then it's good. You season it well, you pair it well, it's fine. You'll be all right. So, that's kind of the majority of it. I also want to share that recently, Aldi's has this beautiful big pack of Hot Pockets, and I was 16 once, and I really enjoyed Hot Pockets, so I wanted them, and then I bought them. So, yeah, I know a lot of this was like all Whole Foods. Anybody like, oh, look at this guy and his trainer and his organics, whatnot. But I'm a real person. I like food that's not green. So Hot Pockets for fun. Usually do like a treat every week. Usually get some kind of snack of like, you know, candy, Gushers. We've got like a whole thing, M&Ms, like a whole, not like a bag, but like a whole like cabinet full of M&Ms. If you know Daniela, she's a big M&Ms person. Anyways, Hot Pockets. So you can have some fun with your snacks. Exo's general rule of thumb, again, we've talked about this a lot, is the 80-20 rule. Eat what you need to 80% of the time. Eat what you want to 20% of the time. Life is all about balance, right? Does this one box of Hot Pockets balance all this out? By meal, more or less. This is all just components of meals. So again, the versatility of having that whole food to chop, to ribbon, to slice, to julienne, however you'd like to put in different meals. Again, gives us that freedom, but limits that decision fatigue of knowing what to buy or questioning what to buy when we go to the grocery store. All right. Want to run through those quick tips. My clipboard's over here, so these are my tips. So we talked about buying the same thing every week. Limit that decision fatigue. Going to the same grocery store every week, being able to know where everything is, limit your time in the grocery store. Should be 30 minutes or less, in my opinion, of running through that grocery store. Caveat, some of us have bigger families. I understand there's some things. Sometimes you have guests attend grocery shopping with you, and that's like a 3-hour trip. I get it. But if you're able to go to the same grocery store, being able to run through that relatively quickly, gives you time elsewhere. Also I know grocery delivery is a big thing these days. So if you haven't tried it out, if you've been wondering, I mean, go for it. See what it's like. I personally, I'll be honest, a little bit of a trust issue. If they're out of something and they give me a different thing that I didn't want, I don't love that. So I go grocery shopping myself. So this thing, we talk about the best quality, same deal. If they substitute something that's not quite the same quality, that is a little bit different. Grass-fed ground beef, I will not accept not grass-fed options. That's just who I am. Best quality you can get. And we talked about buying in bulk, being able to freeze some stuff for later, taking advantage of the lower prices, hopefully lower that grocery bill overall, and always have something on hand, right? But please do not forget what you put in your freezer, all right? Food waste is also very real. So buying the same things allows you to kind of structure that food out for the week, and not cut myself off. But one thing I wanted to mention to kind of touch on is with that making a list, right? So this is, I mean, a very, very common tips and tricks is to make a list of the food that you want to get. Kind of the step before that, if you have an idea of planning out your week beforehand of what food you're making, so you know what food to put on your list, so you know what food to buy, all right? So digital assistants, right? We have one in the kitchen and we just yell at it every time we run out of something and it gets added to the list. So that way our list is made kind of for us as we go. Check your fridge, your pantry before you go to the grocery store, before you make your list, so you're not buying stuff you already have. And then we can limit again that food waste. Let's see, I think that was pretty much everything I wanted to say. Make a list, check it twice, all that good stuff. I'll put these in the kind of description of our Instagram video as well, so we have so you can refer back to what these tips and tricks were. But I've taken enough of your morning. You've seen enough of what goes into my body as fuel day in, day out. That's what we've got. If you have any questions, definitely please let us know. A friendly reminder that Friday Morning Fuel will be taking a break for April. We'll be back in May, first Friday of May. But for then, if you have anything else nutrition-wise, let us know. Enjoyed sharing this with you, and we'll see you next time. I gotta scooch out here.